Around 73% voter turnout was recorded in Rajasthan assembly elections, where elections were held for 199 of the 200 assembly seats. The BJP is aiming to script history in the state for a second consecutive term, while the Congress hopes to defeat the Vasundhara Rajya government.
After a high decibel election campaign, voting has ended in Rajasthan with a voter turnout of 72.62%.
The election takes place in a very fair manner. Though, as I told, there were still queues when we got the last turnout, and this turnout, what has been reported at 5 p.m. is likely to go up. The tentative figure is 72.62%, and since polling is going on, by late night it will be over and it is likely to go up.
Polling was held at 51,687 booths across the state for 199 of the 200 assembly seats. Polling was largely peaceful. There are 2,274 candidates in the fray in Rajasthan, where the BJP is seeking to retain power for a second consecutive term, while the Congress is hopeful of unseating the Vasundhara Rajya government. In the outgoing assembly, the BJP has 160 seats, while the Congress has 25.
मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि क्योंकि अच्छा विकास का कार्य हुआ है, उसको देखते हुए राजस्थान की जनता अपने विवेक से उस पार्टी को मजबूत करेंगे जिस पार्टी ने ये काम किया है।
भारी बहुमत से चुनाव कांग्रेस जीते, ये मेरे मन में था, और भारी बहुमत से कांग्रेस चुनाव जीतने जा रही है।
Results for 199 seats will be declared on December 11th. The election to the Ramgarh constituency of Alwar district was put off following the death of Bahujan Samaj Party candidate Lakshman Singh.
After the successful completion of the peaceful voting, now the election process has entered into the last phase, and that is the counting. All the candidates, the political parties and the electorates are waiting eagerly for the day when they will be able to know that who will represent and voice their concern in the Vidhan Sabha for next 5 years. In Jhalawar, with camera person D.K. Pandey, Ravin Singh Shoran for Rajya Sabha TV.
And around 67% voter turnout was recorded in Telangana. The Election Commission said voting was peaceful in the state, barring a few incidents. It is a three-way contest in the state between the TRS, the BJP and the Congress-led Praja Kutami.
Telangana voted to elect its second assembly on Friday. Over 2 crore 80 lakhs electors, including 4.6 lakh Divyang voters, exercised their franchise. Polling came to an end in 13 left-wing extremism-affected constituencies at 4 p.m, while in the remaining 106 segments, the process continued till 5 p.m. There are 119 constituencies in the state.
What we need daily, this cleanliness on the road and removing the kachra. So these matters more, no? We are not going to look at, remember the politician while we are doing our housework and driving on the road and all. So
whoever comes into power, they should govern much better. They are doing good, they should do much more good, and they should think more about senior citizens. Like the main concern, what they have is about banking. They are much concerned about the savings, deposit, whatever it is. Nobody actually, there's a lot of, the news going on.
From home conditions of the roads, water supply, electricity, these are the things that matter to us on a day-to-day basis. So leaving aside national politics and state politics, urban issues are what I kept in my mind.
The Election Commission used VVPATs for the first time in the state. EC said the polling in the first assembly elections since the formation of the state passed off peacefully, barring minor incidents.
The poll was completed today smoothly and peacefully. Till now, the figures which we have received for the turnout, we have received the interim figure of 67%.
Telangana and Andhra Pradesh Governor E.S.L. Narasimhan, Caretaker Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, BJP's Telangana President K. Lakshman, State Congress Chief Uttam Kumar Reddy and AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi were among the leaders who cast their vote. TRS Supremo K. Chandrasekhar Rao exuded confidence that his party would come back to power in Telangana with a huge majority. Owaisi said he was confident that his party would win every seat.
Second or third time in the state that the pro-incumbency government is again coming back with a huge majority without any doubt. You need not have any doubt.
They are very
peacefully they are coming to the polling station and exercising their oath. It indicates that the silent voting will decide the fate of the Telangana parties, particularly either TRS, BJP or Congress. So the silent voting will definitely helpful to the भारतीय जनता पार्टी।
मैं काफ़ी पुरुम्मीद हूँ और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि इंशाअल्लाह ताला हर उस जगह से हमको कामयाबी मिलेगी।
Adding a dash of glamour to the poll process, Telugu film bigwigs turned up in good numbers to cast their ballot. About 1 lakh police personnel, including 20,000 drawn from other states and 25,000 central paramilitary forces, were engaged in poll duties. The Congress has stitched together Praja Kutami along with the TDP, the TJS and the CPI to take on the ruling TRS, which is seeking a second term in office. The TRS is going it alone in the polls, so is the BJP. As many as 1,821 candidates, including a transgender, are in the fray in the election. Counting of votes would be held on December 11th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And our correspondents Panchan Mishra and Kriti Mishra are joining us from Jaipur and Hyderabad. Panchan, coming to you first. Take us through the voting pattern in Rajasthan, particularly in Jaipur, where you are stationed at the moment. Were there a number of first-time voters, women voters, and how was the excitement among them?
Yeah, Tina, there was enthusiasm since morning, 8 a.m. When we were here in Jaipur. We have seen the very good number of voting here, and that's a difference has been made. It's around 73% voting since up to 5 p.m. Yes. And the Election Commission has said that the voting percentage might increase in the final figures. But we have seen that there was enthusiasm among first-time voters. You can say it's a millennium voter because 20 lakhs, around 20 lakhs voters were there who voted for the first time. Yes. And we have seen the current here among women also, because in Rajasthan they have a very in last election we have seen that the women came from houses in very good number to vote, and this time also there was enthusiasm among women, and they were very loud and clear that what the issues they want. So there was enthusiasm in women, in youth, and also in the local voters of Rajasthan. And the issues were dominated since the beginning was majorly on development, unemployment, and the issues of farms. But also we cannot deny the issues which were very much figuring is like caste and religions also. So we have to see that what will be the final outcome of this election and on which line mostly Rajasthan has voted. But the Election Commission has made a really commendable job to bring the voters up to the polling booths, and we have seen we felt that difference VVPAT has made in this election, because when we inquired many of the voters how they felt with the VVPAT, they were quite satisfied, and they were said that there is no chance of any malfunctioning or any corrupt practices to EVM machines, because they can see their vote to whom they are voting. So the VVPAT system is quite doing good, because it's the first time that Rajasthan has felt this VVPAT system. So it was a very good initiative, and apart from this, Election Commission has made also elaborate arrangement of security to get a sense of security among voters to cast their vote. So overall, it was a very good election, and multiple issues were there. So we have to see that apart from this state government, which BJP-led government, there was also you have to understand that this election happened in such a presumption that there is anti-incumbency against the government and Congress might get a benefit of it. So the central leadership led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Party President, BJP President Amit Shah, they gave a major thrust to this state. So we have to see that what differences they can make, and how the Congress can, if there is a possibility, can come back. Tina.
That's true, Panchan, and we'll have to wait till the 11th for the results. Coming to you, Kriti, Telangana also witnessed brisk polling around 67%. We believe the Election Commission made certain special arrangements this time around. So how were the voters, in fact, how was the sentiment among the voters in Hyderabad today?
Well, Tina, as far as the voter turnout is concerned, it was tad less than what we saw in the year 2014, which was around 67%, and in the year 2014, we saw it around 70%. As far as the polling process was concerned, it was more or less tranquil, except there were minor glitches in the EVMs. There was a bit of furor over the deletion of names in the electoral rolls, and also a minor skirmish between the leaders of the Congress and the TRS. As far as the day progressed, of course, we saw exuberance and excitement among the voters, and especially I would like to mention here the aged voters, the octogenarians. They came out in large numbers and exercised their franchise. Now, talking about the ramifications of this turnout, you might have seen that exit polls, whatever they're showing right now, they have already emboldened the TRS, and of course this number of 67% has further given it a boost. But as far as the other part, that is the Mahakutmi or the Praja Kutmi, that is the Congress-led alliance of Congress, TDP, TJS and the CPI, they're also not crumbling under the pressure, and they're hoping to trounce the TRS government on the basis of the arithmetic of the polls. As far as the BJP is concerned, it is also keeping its fingers crossed, because it is hoping that if the verdict throws out a hung assembly in the state, it may emerge as a kingmaker. So certainly all the political parties have now started working on the permutations and combinations, but we'll have to wait for the final verdict till the 11th of December. Over to you, Tina.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Kriti and Pancharan, for joining us from Jaipur and Hyderabad with those details. That's all in the election news. We'll move on to some other stories in a while.